I want to try something different where I get to spend some time with you, accompany you as you commute to work, as you are going about your day, cleaning, cooking, working, and perhaps looking for some companionship. Get yourself comfortable, put on some headphones or adjust the audio and the speakers as you need. And welcome to a special session, something you can tune in and out of as you feel comfortable. It's totally fine to turn my voice down and just have me playing like soft background noise. Or you can turn it louder if you long to hear the nuances of my voice and the things I'm going to say to you. Use this as your commute companion. I want to talk to you today about peace and identity. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Wherever you are, however you feel in this moment, I would just love for you to arrive. Even if you are headed somewhere, you might have a destination. You're on your way to the airport for another business trip, or you're getting ready to pack your bags for a vacation and you were just looking for some background noise, but we're not in the mood for just music alone. Maybe you want some background sounds that soothe your mind, but motivate and encourage you at the same time. Why not have an audio playing where you can find both soothing sounds and comforting words, where your conscience can tune in and out, where your subconscious can be filled with life giving words? What's the point of background noise and warm sounds if there's not some type of benefit to your mind and mental health? Take a slow, deep breath. Let the air fill your lungs. And as you exhale, allow yourself to soften a bit. Relax your shoulders, unclench your fists and your jaw. There's nowhere else you need to be. You're safe and sound in this present moment. On your way to work, in the middle of your kitchen, at your desk. Right now, this is enough. Let's spend some time together. Time, our most precious asset, the most valuable thing that you can do, the most valuable thing you have and can give to someone else. Time, something you don't get back. Why not use it wisely to be present? Nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to prove. Let's explore this moment. Let's talk about peace. And what does that have to do with who you are, with your identity? I think we all long to figure out who we are. Who we are and what we make of that word identity means different things to us, depending on where we come from, how we were raised, and the stage of life we're in right now. But what does that have to do with peace? Is it possible that figuring out who we are, trying to make sense of our identity, can either give us a sense of peace or lack thereof? Is it possible that in our search for meaning in life, for sense of self, we equal and compare peace to having arrived versus the alternative? I think, while those are two separate words and two separate concepts, there's so much connection. When we find who we are, when we learn to rest in who we were created to be or have evolved to be, there is a sense of confidence, of peace. That may not always mean peace in the sense of absence of anxiety or problems. It may not even mean peace in the sense of complete relaxation, but perhaps peace in the sense of acceptance. And when we accept who we are, when we learn to be, could it be that we get to experience more peace? We are in a world that moves so quickly. And both peace and identity, who we are and how we find peace within who we are, can be quite the challenge. Peace isn't always the absence of noise or trouble. Sometimes peace is a quiet strength inside of us, a steady rhythm beneath that surface of life, within the mundane, deeply rooted in that continuous and constant heartbeat. Maybe it's the space between the breaths we take, the gentle pause before we think, a silent reflection. Though many of us long to find peace, and some may even be chasing after it, the irony, the paradox is that peace cannot be chased. It's not something we can rush to attain or cling to find. It's something that we uncover, perhaps something that's already here, something that we need to remember, something that's waiting on us between layers of worry and anxiety, between questions and doubt, behind all the rushing and striving. Could it be that so much of what we do is in order to find peace and happiness? For what is happiness? Joy, excitement, the things that are fun without the sense of peace. We could be going through life and experiencing things that we would define joyful, things that we would claim make us happy, but if there's no peace within it, are we really happy? Can we really enjoy that present moment? And in a similar sense, when we have peace, both in the storms of life and in the relaxing moments, could it be that we feel happier? Is it possible that as we are developing and we try to figure out who we are, what is this world? What is the purpose? What is the meaning of life? Who am I? Underneath that search for identity, we are longing for peace. Peace, not in the sense of absence of anxiety, not in the sense of never feeling anything else but peace, but peace in the sense of rest, in the sense of slowing down, accepting what is. As you listen, pay attention to how you're breathing. As you tune in and out of this background noise, no matter how loud or low you've turned this track, keep remembering to breathe, even if your subconscious right now is hearing these words and the conscious you is so busy and distracted. Remind yourself, remember to inhale and exhale. Feel that natural rhythm inside of you. That is peace, that right there. Being alive. And your thoughts may come rushing in, all the to-dos, all the expectations and the things that would steal your peace. Feelings arising from a recent fight, replaying the words that were said or the things that were left unsaid. A weary mind from that mental load of caring for a spouse and children or trying to pay the bills or mentally preparing for your next doctor's appointment. So many thoughts that want to keep resurfacing. But in between those thoughts are moments of peace, moments of pause, of reflection, and maybe a still voice that says, it's going to be okay. This is peace right here, between every breath. The fact that you are alive, still, even now, and now. And you're still alive now. It's okay if not everything that you think has to be done has been done. There is still peace. And how does that play into identity? Peace and identity. Who you are, who you really are. The ship of Theseus concept in philosophy speaks on the questions that arise when we try to understand what makes something the thing that it is. If all parts are replaced on this voyage, is the ship that arrives at the harbor still the same as the ship that left? All the pieces of wood had gradually been replaced as the ship slowly made its way through the waters and the waves. Or to go further, if the scavengers who found the old pieces of wood floating in the water had used these materials to create a new boat, is this new ship like the original? What does it mean to change? What does it mean for something to be? Is it the parts that make it up? Is it the form and structure thereof? There are so many questions that arise when we try to understand what makes a thing, what changes a thing, and if that thing, as with the ship of Theseus, is still the original after changes have been made. And in the same way, we ask those questions about ourselves. Are we our body, our soma, the bones and the blood that run through us? And if we were to lose a limb or our body changes, time doesn't pass us by unaffected. Wrinkles, gravity, our body is changing. If who we are is just the sum of individual parts, are we still who we used to be? Could it be that that is part of why it creates such anxiety within people when they see their wrinkles and their age? This fear of death, this fear of decay, of the end, because we feel like we are losing ourselves and yearn to be held, to be safe, to remain. Our desire to leave a legacy, to live on through the memories of our children and grandchildren, or through something we've created, a business we've built, a product or service we have offered. Is it possible we are our shape and form? A matter of science, somatic elements, physical attributes? Could it be that we are our thoughts and beliefs? Is that our identity? And if so, just as with the ship of Theseus, what happens when those thoughts change? When decisions lead us to identifying with, believing with completely different things? There too, we find people having identity crises, anxiety because they feel lost and out of place. Have you changed? Or is it possible that you are still you? What does identity mean, and what does it have to do with peace? Perhaps we are our memories, our history, our decisions, and the things that others have decided around us. We exist. And maybe there is no simple answer to any of those questions. Perhaps it is all of the above. Holistic beings consistent of body, mind, and spirit. Beings that are part of various elements and fragments, but also our emotions and beliefs, and also the journey, which brings with it changes of opinions and beliefs, our memories, our history. Maybe that's the idea of being human, an ongoing thing that was meant to evolve, that was meant to continually be different. Maybe the point is not to figure out who you are and stay that way. Maybe there's peace and understanding. You just are. You exist. Who are you really when no one is watching, when you feel safe? And how does it make you feel when you feel lonely because you don't know if you can truly be yourself around others? You take on different roles. You hold different titles, and perhaps you don't know if there's anyone you can truly just be yourself around. You might not feel comfortable to completely tell your friend or family member your opinions, or you don't have the energy to go down the rabbit hole of debates. Perhaps you're afraid to share your fears or judgment, or because you have been judged before. Maybe even if you have found someone to be completely vulnerable with, you still find yourself lonely at times because you know that no matter how eloquently you try to tell them what you're thinking, by the time it has left your mind and gone through your words and reached the other's ear, it is still being perceived by them and their mind through their subjective lens, their experiences and history, their perceptions, and their identity. No one can fully ever grasp exactly what is going on in our mind, and therefore there's this dance between feeling lonely and isolated, seeing things change and time trickling through our fingers like sand, realizing that everything is transient, and that can be scary because it will ultimately mean death. And at the same time, finding comfort because things are transient, because that also means that even this moment of anxiety and fear is not going to stay the same. It is not going to be forever. New feelings will come. That rhythm keeps flowing. Beneath the labels and the expectations, you are more than a name, or a job, or the age, a calculation created by people to grasp time and space. You're more than the things you do. You are a living story, a unique melody in existence, a one-of-a-kind soundtrack. How crazy is that, to think that you are a one-of-a-kind soundtrack, a song like no other. Can you hear it? Can you hear the song playing in the background? Your life song. And though there may be people that look very much like you or sound similar to you, though there may be people that have walked through some of the things you have walked through in this life, no one has exactly lived like you. Regardless if they carry the same name, if they have lived the same amount of years, or were even born on the same day at the same time, your fingerprint unique. Your existence one of a kind. A soundtrack made of multiple elements of beautiful music, an orchestra, a symphony put together with your favorite instruments. Imagining the crescendo of drums rolling, percussion filling in the blanks with thunderous elements of rhythm and heartbeat. The strings, the cello, the violas, flying through the composition like rushing water. Guitar riffs and beautiful melodies played on grand pianos, of moments where you laughed and where you cried. A beautiful composition that is your life, a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. And it's still being played. Your song is not over. Regardless if you are in the first verse, the chorus, or the bridge of your life. Perhaps you feel like you're just stuck in that final hook, that loop that keeps repeating as everyone anticipates the end. Your song is not over. And even when you breathe your last, and the music comes to an end and it slowly fades out, or perhaps rings out with a crashing finale, the melody will still continue to ring into eternity. Those sound waves continue to carry and ripple into the next moment in space and time, even when your song comes to a close, even when your song slowly fades and your time is up. The sound waves, even if inaudible to the human ear, continue to carry energy waves continuing to float into space. You not being forgotten, you not ceasing to exist because your song ripples into the lives of those who've got to hear you. And what a beautiful gift to have crossed paths with you. What a beautiful gift to have been part of your song, either by being an active instrument or a simple minor or major note that still changed the entire song. Even if just simply a privileged listener, anyone who was part of, affected, or listened to your song of life will in turn be changed forever. Maybe in ways you can't see, but maybe them hearing a certain note at just the right time, or the way that the drums were played in your song of life, the way they were played, may affect another person's song in ways you will never know. Inspired by that minor note that you thought was the end of your days, that minor note of your life song that you thought was the darkest you could ever endure, now turns out to be something that heals another person's wounds, now turns out to be something that changes the song of another person's life, a note that inspires them to endure the sad moments, the hard times, a part of your fellow human's composition. And so the melodies keep ringing, rippling into the future. All of our songs impacting each other. We're all so much more connected than we realize, so much more. Sometimes we think who we are, our identity is what we achieve. We might say, I'm at work. I am a mother, I'm a father. This is how old I am or what I've accomplished. We define where we are, what we do as our sense of self. We might even go deeper and say what others think of me or how they perceive me is who I am. But deep down, your identity is not something you have to earn. Your identity is not what you accomplish. It plays a role in your life song because it affects how you view the world. It affects perhaps the instruments you choose to include in your composition of life. But you don't have to earn a sense of self. It's simply that you are, you being, you existing, the presence of you. The space that you fill is who you are. And it's beautiful. Your light, your song is what's changing the world. And interestingly enough, when we realize that every breath we take means we're still here, we're still singing, we're still composing, when we realize that your song is beautiful and unlike any other, and that it is good that way, when you realize that the notes you play in your life, the instruments you include, the moments you choose to bring in that crescendo, throw in that run, add timbres that have not been heard before, bringing in that vibrato that resonates with others, throwing in an epic guitar solo, or maybe simply and steadily carrying the composition with that constant and continuous heartbeat, or the diligence of your presence, your loyalty, your hard work, all these elements that make your life you, you'll find that that can inspire others, that it touches people's lives. And then when your song comes to an end, those sound waves continue to live on. And as you learn to accept that, as you learn to rejoice in that and possibly enjoy it, maybe that's where you then find more peace. Because there's no more pressure to make your life song sound like anyone else. There's no more pressure to fight for every moment, chase peace. Could it be that that's what you're looking for when you try to stay forever young? When you chase beauty, try to defy gravity and entropy? Could it be that's what you're looking for when you speak to your spouse and you feel frustrated because you don't feel understood, because deep down you long for peace. You long for a relationship to be known. You fear that isolation that reminds you of death. You long for someone to look into your mind, to see your heart, to move the curtains aside and see you. Maybe you long for someone to see behind all the things you've made your identity, for someone to look into your eyes, the windows of your soul, and say to you, "You're good enough. This is more than good enough. This is beautiful." Could it be that when you watch other people respond to music, art, movies, poetry, nature, you find yourself excited, emotional, joyful, because you see a part of yourself reflected? And perhaps when that person responds in a way you would have responded, you feel just a little more seen, like someone gets you, someone sees you, someone understands. And in that moment, you're just a little less alone and a little further away from death and complete isolation. Know assured that even in the face of decay, waves of energy, waves of sound are still making their way through the universe, including your song. You are not too far gone. And there's peace, natural peace, peace that naturally grows when you understand who you are, when your identity is rooted deeply in the fact that you are not just bound to one thing, that you are allowed to be like water, different things at different times. You're accepted, that you being is enough. From that place of knowing who you are and finding peace, fruits will follow. A healthy tree that knows its worth will produce the right kind of fruit in the right kind of season. Imagine for a moment that your thoughts are like clouds in a wide blue sky. They drift, they change, but the sky remains. Your sense of self is like the sky. Your thoughts, your feelings, and experiences are weather passing through. You're not the storm. You are the vastness that holds it all. The storm will not destroy you because it's simply passing by, adding that beautiful crescendo of your song. Take another breath with me. Inhale and exhale as you keep relaxing your shoulders and unclenching your fists. Come back to the present moment with me, where whatever you're doing right now, wherever you're headed to, wherever you're staying, you can find peace. You are here. Feel that space inside of you. Notice that you're aware of the words I'm speaking. You hear the sound of my voice. You're aware of your breath, aware of this very moment. This awareness, silent, steady, unchanging. That is closer to who you truly are than any story you could tell or anyone could tell you. You already are. In this search to be seen, and when we story to ourselves that we don't truly exist until someone really sees us and accepts us and loves us, in our desperate desire to be visible in the eyes of another, to see our own reflection in someone else's eyes, we forget that we don't need to see ourselves in their eyes in order to exist. Many think that that's when you've truly arrived. I think subconsciously sometimes people even wonder, do they really exist if their existence isn't acknowledged? If no one sees me, am I really here? If no one accepts me, am I? When you realize that you are. And you don't need that external validation in order to be enough. You don't need for others to realize your existence, not to mention your values and worth, before you get to acknowledge it yourself. If you know you exist and you are real, there's no need to chase or prove it to anybody else. Peace and identity are woven together. When we know ourselves as awareness, when we understand that we are aware and alive, that we exist, we find peace. And when we rest in that peace, we can see ourselves more clearly. It's this gentle cycle, a quiet dance. I believe that from that place of truly loving yourself, truly allowing yourself to be, everything else will flow. You will learn to love and accept others. You will learn not to chase the changes that you think you needed to make before you can truly be. You can peacefully become who you want to be, even if it means shedding things that no longer serve you or that you know were causing you harm and blurring your vision. You can produce fruit from a place of health and peace. You don't have to force this. You don't have to understand it all at once and grasp the words of what I'm trying to say in order to receive them. Just notice. Pay attention to the things that stand out to you, the things that perhaps I said that resonate with you. Even arguing in your mind with the things you dislike is being, and you're allowed to be. You're allowed to feel anger rise up in you if something I say makes you mad. You're allowed to feel anxiety. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where is this coming from? Perhaps there's something that created a sense of realization, revelation, or epiphany in your mind. Play with that epiphany. There's no need to control it, dissect it, and analyze it to gain control. Play with it. Let it bounce around like a ball in your favorite color, joyfully bouncing left and right and up and down. What is this realization you have? What are these sensations that you feel in your body? What are the thoughts that are flowing through your mind? Observe them like clouds. Feel the wind on your skin. And if that made you think of a song, sing it. Sing it at the top of your lungs, wherever you are. Smile if you see someone responding. Be free to be who you are. Your life song is one of a kind, and it inspires others. It inspires us, regardless if it's a minor or major note. The beautiful run, an epic solo, or simple notes that carry through the composition. It's all part of your life, like a beautiful, colorful tapestry. The bright yellow and orange threads woven through that piece of art, just as important and beautiful as the shades of gray and darker shades of black, brown, or bright white that create contrast when we look at a painting or a woven carpet. It's all part of the picture, and it's all equally beautiful. Notice what your body feels and the sounds around you. Life continues moment by moment. And maybe there are challenges in your life right now. Uncertainty, questions, old memories, or future plans. It's okay. All of these can exist, and still there is a deeper place within you that remains whole. Feel that part of your soul steady as thoughts of your questions, memories, and worries come in and out of your mind. That deeper place within you that remains whole is not defined by what happens. It simply is. When you forget who you are, peace can feel far away. But peace is never gone. It's like the quiet earth beneath your feet, always here. Even the earth that surrounds those who have gone, always here. Peace. Even when you're distracted, perhaps your conscious self doesn't even hear the words I'm saying because I'm just playing in the background. That's beautiful too. Maybe it's your subconscious that hears these words, that allows your body and your mind to feel and experience a sensation that you need. A calm, peace. Just like peace is steady, identity too is steady. Who you are is not lost when you feel confused. It just waits for you to remember. Let's linger here together for a while. No rush. Just breathing. Just being. Consider the people you love. Consider the things you enjoy. These are beautiful parts of your life. But they don't define your worth. Your worth is not measured by productivity or by how perfectly you live. Your worth is inherent. It is as natural as the sunrise, as effortless as the tide. Take another deep breath. Feel your heart beating. This simple rhythm is life itself. You don't have to control it. You don't have to earn it. It simply happens. Your heart keeps beating. The neurons in your mind keep working together, bouncing around, moving you. And so your identity simply is. You are not your mistakes. You are not your successes. You are the presence that experiences them. You are the awareness that notices joy and sorrow. You are the being that feels loss and gain, failures and victories, sensations of peace and calm, and even in distress. And in that awareness, in being, there is peace. When you feel lost, remember the sky. Remember the breath. Remember the quiet truth that you are already whole. Identity is not a destination. It's the recognition, the remembrance of what always has been true. Sit with that. Let's breathe and be together. As you move through the world after this moment, carry this simple knowing: peace is within you. Identity is not a mask, an outfit you put on, or a persona that you portray, but a light. You are more than the rush of life. You are more than words. You are the stillness beneath it all, between it all. Let's take a final breath together. Inhale deeply and gently exhale. Notice how alive you are. Notice how complete this moment feels. Thank you for sharing this time with me, for being with me. May you walk and be in peace. Continue to live in the truth of who you are. Be rooted in love and awareness, in the quiet strength that never fades. You are enough. You have always been enough. You always will be enough. There is endless peace. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I love being your ride-along companion. I'll see you on the next ride.